13th of March 2015, and on the 14th of March, I spent 2 days in the company of a very inspiring man, John Maxwell. My friend, John, your friend. Then on the 14th, just immediately after the conference, I went to Paris, left Namibia for Paris. And whilst I was in Paris and reflecting on our theme today, playing beyond, I thought, well, what can I do that is very relevant to the theme of TEDx 2015? Then I said, well, let me go up Eiffel Tower so that I can play beyond, so that I can see how it feels to be on top of the world. So I went on top of Eiffel Tower. I walked up, by the way, until the second floor. Then I took the lift. I went up to the top. Whilst I was on the top, I discovered something very interesting. The flags, national flags of country that matters, were up there, and the Namibian flag was there, and information indicating that from the Eiffel Tower to the tallest building in Namibia, which is Old Mutual Tower, there is a distance of 8,048 kilometers. I was the happiest man on top of the Eiffel Tower. Now, as I was going back to my hotel, I then start reflecting and thinking and say, well, if I just noted, it just occurred to me that if I am to come back to Namibia on Saturday, I will fail to witness the 25th independence of Namibia and the inauguration of our third president, Dr. Hage Geingob. So I decided to come back a day earlier. So I came back on Friday. Thanks God, Saturday I was able to witness our independence. Now, when our new president got sworn in and he gave his speech, in his speech, he spoke about 3 things. That the founding president brought us peace, and that President Pohamba maintained stability, and he promised us prosperity. I was inspired because I knew that it's good that we now have a Namibian dream of prosperity. It's possible to prosper. It's very possible. Now, other people may argue and say, well, some of us, we have already prospered, or some of us, we are already affluent, or some of us, we are already the elite. To those people I say, if you think you have already prospered, then your dreams is very small, because it can always get better. I believe in the Namibian dream. I believe in having energy. I believe in energizing those around me. I believe on playing beyond, that is edge, being on top. And I believe on executing. Now, before I execute my task of today, I want to ask first 4 questions. Why do we have some people who are unable to speak publicly with confidence? Why do we have some people who are unable to give a public talk without having a written speech or notes? Why do we have some people who are unable to sell themselves effectively? Why do we have some people who have so great ideas, always having these great and brilliant plans, but yet they grow older and die without implementing those great ideas? Now, I have made a discovery, and this discovery, I made it over the past 12 years when I joined the Central Bank of Namibia as a chief of security, coming from the police where I served as a detective sergeant. I then discovered that it is possible that one can use alphabetical letters from A to Z and develop your own motivational concept that you can then use at any given time without any need to prepare, without any need to have any note or a written speech. I first started with the ABC of Shivute. And with the A, I talk about the importance of attitude. With the B, I talk about the importance of believing in yourself. And with the C, I can deal with confidence or choice. Now, so I started first with one, and later on, those concepts, they just continued growing. First, I started getting speaking engagement within the bank. And later, it just started going outside. Just to mention a few, outside, that was 2008, the Central Bank of Lesotho, they wrote to me, through the governor, of course, and said, we need Sam Shivute to come here and train and motivate our security official. We heard him talking at the South African Reserve Bank, and he must come. So that happened. And later on, it just continued. Then, very soon on the list, we have NIPAM, we have SACU, then we have Southern Business School, then Unam came. And the good news is that all that was done with no charging at all, no cent. It was just a way of giving back. Now, as I say, I've developed a number, more than 10 concepts. Now I have one that I would want to share with you this afternoon. That's why my talk is titled, Inspire with Care. So this concept, I call it care. So I would then now want to unpack for you this concept care, unpacking letter by letter. Let's see. Let's start first. Let's unpack C. C, within the concept of care, is really about confidence. We need to understand that confidence is very critical in all aspects of our life. You need confidence for one to be happy and to be successful in life. We need to understand that if you don't have confidence, there is no way that you can inspire confidence. So some people, their confidence developed at an early stage. Some people, they did not have that privilege, but the good news is that at any stage of your life, you can always develop your confidence. Confidence is very key. When you walk, you must walk with confidence. When you shake hand, have you ever seen a situation where you shake someone's hand and you feel like having hold a dead fish? That's not confidence. So when you shake hand, you need to inspire confidence. You need to radiate positive energy and show that you can instill confidence in others and in yourself. I have my mother to thank for helping me develop confidence. I've had many people saying that the best gift you can give to your child is education. What about if you are from a village, like I was born at Olunkono village, coming from a very poor family. Your parents do not work, and you come from a village during that time where no one have even completed grade 12. No one have completed grade 12 at the village. How can then my mom give me a good education by then? She gave me confidence. And how she did that, she will tell me, for example, that, oh, Sam, you are the best, and I believe you will make it. She even told her friends and those people who come from Walvis Bay or Windhoek coming to our village that I can speak English. I knew I could not speak English that time sometime. Now, one day, one of her friends received a letter from an insurance company. And that friend brought a letter to my mom so that I can translate it. Now, that letter, the first word was policy number. Even the word policy, I did not understand it. But what I then did is that I tried to get someone whom I knew could speak and read English, translated the letter, went to my mother took the translation. She was very proud of me. Just to finish with C, what you are seeing here, this picture that you are seeing there, is Namibia's founding president and father of the nation, Dr. Sam Nujoma. at the age of 30, in your 30s, and you decide that, well, I do not like to see what is happening in Namibia. I will wage the struggle. I will mobilize my comrades so that we can bring independence to my people. He was very confident, and that was a very true sign of confidence. And truly speaking, we got that independence. He was a confident man. The other man that you will see in that picture is also a man who exudes and radiates confidence. This man, like myself, he was also helped by his mother to build confidence because his mother really believed in him. And when he was growing up in Spain, his mom always told him how good he was. And this man is quoted to have said, "My mom once told me that if you become a soldier, you will become a general. And when you become a monk, you will become a pope. Instead, I was a painter and I become Picasso." That's Pablo Picasso, ladies and gentlemen. Let's move to A. A, within the concept of K, is about attitude. Attitude, ladies and gentlemen, is everything. Attitude is very key in determining whether you will be successful or not. It's not your bank account. It's not the fact that you come from a rich family. It's not the fact that you attended private school. It's all about attitude. Attitude can make or break you. I remember very well, almost 20 years ago, when I joined the Namibian police as a constable. The picture you are seeing there, that is Wanaenda police station in Katutura. So when I joined there, and within a period of 3 weeks of joining, and I was speaking to some of my friends that, well, I want to study police science. I want to become a better police officer. I noted that there were two groups of police officers. Some were very negative. They were only looking at the darker side of things, complaining of the fact that we were underpaid. Some were very positive. I decided to join those who were positive. I guarantee you, those who were negative, they are still there. And those of us who were positive, we have gone, and the majority of them, they are having executive position in Namibia. Again, since our theme today is playing beyond, I just felt that it's proper that I share with you the principle developed by Dr. Vanessa Thiel, a principle that emphasized the importance of playing above the line, where we are told that, remember, there are two ways of reacting or behaving. There are those people who they just always blame everything, everyone except themselves. There are those who always have excuses. There are those who always deny. That is D for denial, and there is excuse and blaming. Now, Dr. Thiel says, you must play above, playing beyond. That's why he said, those who play beyond, and that is what I wish for you today. They take ownership. They take ownership. They take accountability, and they take responsibility. Because Winston Churchill once said that the price to greatness is responsibility. R, within the context of K, it's about relevant. And here the question that I want to ask you is to say, what will you do to make sure that you are relevant to your family? What will you do to make sure that you are relevant to your friends? What will you do to make sure that you are relevant to your society? What will you do to make sure that you are relevant in your profession? What will you do to make sure that you are relevant to those who are voiceless and powerless? What will you do to make sure that you are relevant to your pet? It's very true. Now, my wife is here with me today to support me, but she did not give me permission to share, because I did not consult her on that, to share what do I do to her to remain relevant to her. But I remember I remember when I was at Ipumbu Senior Secondary School 24 years ago, and I noted that at Ipumbu Senior Secondary School, people only did not pay much attention for the guys who came from the village or who come from poor background, the poor household. I said, what can I do to remain relevant in this school? So I joined boxing. And come 1991, I was the regional champion. I played soccer. Then I joined the concert. And I still remember when I joined that concert, because they were only girls. The guys, it was only Emvula Eino and Mawa Mawa. I remember one of the songs that we used to play. We used to say, Pire mama mpare, mpare mama mpare, mpare mama mpare, mpare mama mpa. Now, I made myself relevant in that school. Now, the last one, ladies and gentlemen, within the context of care, is execution. Execution is very key. Now, I'm very much fortunate that I was able to meet the late Dr. Manru 3 times. I must also be able to thank Ms. Hilda Namjebo Basson, because she facilitated that I had a breakfast with him at the Hilton as well. And I remember him during the first time that we met asking the audience to say, what is the richest place in Namibia? And people were talking about Oraniemund, TEDxWindhoek and so on. And he said, remember, the richest place in Namibia is the grave. Because it's at the grave where people are buried without having written their book, without having decided that they are a motivational teacher, without having implemented their investment plan, without having sang that song. So you would also remember Dr. Abraham Yambo when he was appointed. He was appointed on the 21st of March, 2010, and he delivered and delivered. Then within the period of those 3 years, we have free education. What was wrong? Lack of execution. So I would want to say we need to execute. Execution is very key. So playing beyond, we need to have confidence. We need to have positive attitude. We need to ask ourselves, what can we do to remain relevant? And ladies and gentlemen, we have to deliver. I thank you.